Alrighty then, hello and good evening YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Sadly, there was no neighborhood fun tear it up like Terry Labonte episode 4 today, even though I was originally planning on it, like when I was talking about it all over my socials, like I think, not all my socials, but I think I was talking about it on TikTok and here on YouTube and maybe on Instagram and stuff, but it didn't mean I will, and even if I didn't, which was the case, it wasn't a big deal, so tomorrow we're gonna record for sure. I'll mention at the end of the video, but right now I want to talk about the news that just dropped out of nowhere. It pissed me the fuck off last night, considering I was just giving Brian Wright and Pop in the front office praise for finally getting their heads out of their asses and for actually doing something with the team after hearing us bitch and moan on Twitter for so many years about how Spurs do nothing at the trade deadline, in the middle of the season, or free agency in general. So, the king of bitching it up is back in San Antonio. And I was so happy to get rid of him, not this past season, but the year before, after he and Marco Trascinelli took up Lonnie and Keldon's minutes, especially considering at the time Keldon was a rookie and Lonnie was in his second season. So, therefore, I mean, the only upside with Bryn, because Marco, he couldn't do jack shit. Considering that crazy me, and when we brought him back in the 18-19 season, thought he was going to pick up where he left off, and from 2015 Game 7 first round against the Clippers. But at least in Bryn's defense, he has done some good stuff, in his first tenure here. He was amazing in the first round series against Denver in 2019 when DeJounte had his season wiped out before in the preseason, with the ACL injury. He shot the lights out in Phoenix on one of my best friends, Jada Hardaway's birthday, and of course my cousin Gina Mazio's disease, and a lot of birthdays on January 21st. And that night, he shut us all up and shot the lights out. But it's he's done a few good things like those. There was a third good thing he did too. I couldn't remember. I was talking about it last night off camera. But other than that, he really stunk up the joint like Terry Labonte, which is how we came up with the tagline, bitching it up like Bryn Forbes. Now, as mad as I am to have him back, considering that, he sucked ass for us, in 2019, 2020, pre-pandemic, and sold us a lot of games, and like I mentioned, took up Lonnie and Keldon's minutes with Trascinelli's help. There's gonna be a lot of big reasons, as to how I hope the Spurs handle him this time, unlike last time. One, as long as we don't start him over anybody, we don't start him over anybody, let alone give him more minutes, than our youth. Play him over a youth, start him over a youth, or play him start him. Period. I'll be okay, because as long as Pop can take. I hope Pop watched film of the Bucks from this past season. How Coach Bud, his old longtime assistant coach, handled him properly, brought him off the bench in a smaller role, and whenever he could shoot the lights out in a smaller role. So the thing is, I just hope that Pop can handle him better this time. So if he can, put him in a smaller role and have him come off the bench in a catch and shoot role, and it would, as long as this contract we have him coming back is a minimum, I just don't want him starting over Derek. I don't want him taking up Lonnie's minutes or any of or Vassell's minutes, or playing over the youth or starting. Period. As long as Pop can prove me wrong, actually, as in handling him properly this time, I guess I won't hate him as much, because I think the reason why he bitched it up is because he was in a role the first time here that wasn't fit for him, starting, But as long as he comes off the bench, I'll be perfectly content and I won't hate him as much, And the other thing I'm going to address is Primo, our our number 12 draft pick, actually has his old jersey number 11. So unfortunately, the king of bitching it up can't retain it. So I mean, he's gonna have to get a different one, obviously. So we'll find out in the weeks to come this offseason what his new jersey number is gonna be before the 2021-2022 season. Like I said, even if we suck ass again, this is going to be my 25th anniversary tour as a fan of the San Antonio Spurs. But if they prove me wrong, and actually Bryn gets used properly this time and not like, starting like you're just something that's not suit for him, this could be the first fun season since the 2016-17 season, the first year Duncan wasn't here because he retired. So therefore, now I want to give my thoughts on like my initial what I initially thought of, the Primo pick and the Wieskamp pick. The Wieskamp pick I think was a good pickup, was a good draft pick in the second round. Now the Primo pick I was a little upset about. This was before like Brian Wright actually got the pop in the front office got their heads out of their asses. My arm's getting tired, so I'm gonna lay down. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna change the camera angle. Okay, that's much more comfortable now. So, Brian Wright in the front office, even though I wasn't happy with that pick, considering that Kai Jones was out there. Hold on a second, the pillow. Gotta use it as an armrest. Okay. Okay, that's better. So Josh Primo, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I wasn't happy with that pick, not because I didn't like the kid, but I wanted, Brian Wright and pop in the front office to draft a big man like Kai Jones. But, hey, as the best we can do is, cheer for Primo, and hopefully he does good and prove a lot of us wrong. At the time, I still didn't think that, it still didn't change my mind that I thought that Brian Wright and everyone that popped in the front office were a bunch of jackasses and goons. But then they probably heard us complaining, so they made a lot of moves and blew up the team and got rid of everybody and got some old players back. Hopefully, maybe he can, that he has Bryn has the championship experience. He can mentor the young guys, so hopefully that's the case. Parker, if, Tony Parker didn't leave in the 2018-2019 summer offseason, with DeJounte getting his season wiped out that following preseason, Parker could have been a huge help to the young guys. Derek, he could have made Bryn into a better player, but hey, in a reality, in that we'll never know we'll never know what happened in that reality where Parker stayed, when DeJounte having his 18-19 is wiped out, we'll never know what happened in that reality. So therefore the Primo pick, so now I feel a lot more confident with it now that Brian Wright pop in the front office blew up the team, except I just didn't like the fact they brought that rain-chasing bitch back into San Antonio, which is obviously the only thing he's the king at is bitching it up. But if he proves me wrong this year, comes off the bench, gets a smaller role, and doesn't start period or play over the youth, I probably won't hate him as much anymore. And maybe my hatred for him will be put to rest for good if we use him properly. So therefore, hopefully Primo can prove a lot of us wrong and do good. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was that Jock Landale or whatever his name is. I'll look at the title. I'll look at the title of the video in the description and see it and send them it just to make sure. But I think his name is Jock Landale. So I don't know who he is, but this is exactly what we need. He's young. He's 25 years old. He's a center. He's 6'11", Duncan and Robinson's old height, Duncan's old height, and he's just 2 inches off of how tall Robinson was. So this is exactly what we need to pick up where Robinson left off in 2003 and Prime Duncan left off in 2007. Although to be fair, it felt like in 2013, the 2012-2013 and 13-14 season, Prime Duncan came back. I remember that one game against the Clippers, March 2013, Ginobili hurt his calf, and then Duncan went crazy and scored 34 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, and even hit that and-one game winner that won the Spurs the game when I lived in Brook Park in the Sandhurst house. And I remember it being on NBA TV, but also I had DirecTV at the time, so it was also on the Bill and Sean channel, Fox Sports Southwest. So I think it was on both, and I don't even think Fox Southwest was even blacked out. So I think at the time maybe I just don't remember. I was able to watch it on both channels, but I chose the Spurs broadcast so I could see all the HEB commercials and shit. So therefore, yeah, so this is what we need. And sadly, somebody that was a big man that was on last year's team is actually going to lose their job. It's either going to be Jakob or Drew Banks. And as much as I love Drew Banks, I hate to say it might be him, but personally, I'm hoping it's Jakob because I like Drew Banks better. The one who's like he's like the next Fabrizio Roberto, aka the king of fucking it up. So yeah, so therefore, that is my reaction to the king of bitching it up coming back to San Antonio. I was so mad last night when I saw that on Twitter. I thought it was just a troll. Like trying to mess with us Spurs fans' minds. No one, a troll that knew that we complained about him in all the 2019-2020 season, pre-pandemic / pre-bubble. But nope, it was real. But here's my reaction a night later. He can prove me wrong if, we use him properly and, not start him, give him so many minutes, as in play him over the youth and, bring him, okay, let me try that again. Here's how we can use him properly for him to prove me wrong and not make me hate him as much. Maybe I can drop my hatred for him and his, nickname for good. We don't start him, period. We don't, play him over the youth. We don't give him over excessive minutes. And we bring him off the bench in a smaller role. So, as long as we do that, I'll be perfectly content. Because, basically, that's all we can hope for, considering there's nothing we can do about it. The fact that he came back to San Antonio. So, that'll do it for tonight's reaction video to the king of bitching it up, coming back to San Antonio. Oh, yeah, wait. I'm not done yet. I forgot. I just remembered I got to talk about DeMar since when I recorded yesterday's video, that trade hadn't been done yet. So Lone Star DeMar is in Chicago, is in the Windy City now. So as happy as I am for him, as happy. Well, before I get into that. I mean, as much as I appreciate everything he's done for us, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, the only reason why he was a Spur to begin with was because of the Kawhi Uncle Dennis debacle. He played his heart out in San Antonio and never tried to force his way out. But it's like, we were wasting his talent here, so therefore, I'm glad we kind of moved on from him. And as much as I would love for him to get a ring, I doubt he'll get it in Chicago, considering they haven't been good since Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen, But hey, we'll see. You never know. But at the same time, I'm not holding my breath for him to be with the Bulls. If he really wants to win a ring, hopefully next season, not this upcoming next season, but the season after, the 2022-2023 season, he can actually go to a true contender and hopefully get a ring on his finger. So I'm happy for DeMar, but at the same time, I just don't want him to fail. But, Chicago has not been that good since MJ, but we'll see what happens with this 2021-2022 season, because crazier things have happened in the NBA. The NBA is full of surprises and miracles happen in basketball. So anyway, that's all that does it for tonight's video. So tomorrow, we have to get up early no matter what. We have to go to bed as early as possible tonight, because tomorrow we start recording our triple header that's going to be rolled up into one video. It's going to be uploaded either by Sunday after the Watkins Glen race, but if we don't have time, we'll just upload it Monday after work. So it's going to be, because tomorrow is Stephanie Szostak and Chris Peterson's birthday, Delilah Dixon and ABC's Million Little Things, and the creator of Disney XD's Live in La Vida Lab Rats. And then the day after tomorrow, we're back to work. And it's Kensington Tallman's birthday. And after work, I'm going to a birthday party in the neighborhood, so I'll get some footage of that. That's going to be the Kensington Tallman part. And then Saturday, the Oliveira's family picnic. That's probably going to be my longest video yet, so I can't wait for you guys to see it. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Good night, and go Spurs, go!